Hey, Carly here from The Habit Ayurveda. I need to show you how to make these chocolates. These are Ayurvedic, hormone regulating, pleasure increasing, really good for you, creamy, delicious truffles. Today I'm going to show you the recipe. Here is the base of my Ayurvedic chocolate recipe. The main ingredient is raw cacao, not cocoa. This is like the raw version of cocoa. You want to get raw cacao. It smells incredible, tastes incredible, and the benefits are huge. There is 40 times the antioxidants of blueberries in raw cacao. Raw cacao has the highest amount of iron of any plant in nature. So cacao is extremely good for you. It's also got serotonin and tryptophan in it. It makes us feel calm. It makes us feel happy. There's a reason why we love chocolate, and you should definitely eat it. It's really good for you. So when you're making your chocolates, you're gonna take a small saucepan and you're gonna put it on very, very low on your stove. And you definitely don't wanna burn your ingredients. You just wanna get it to like a melting point. So you're gonna put in a 1/4 cup to a 1/3 cup of this raw cacao, and I'll put the ingredients down in the comments as well. So you've got your raw cacao. The next thing is we're gonna do coconut oil. Obviously, we all know tons of benefits to coconut oil. It is lubricating on the intestinal walls. It is a great source of beneficial fats. It's good for your skin. It's good for your digestive tract. You're gonna put 1/2 cup of coconut oil into your pot, and you're also going to put 2 tablespoons of almond butter, another wonderful source of fat, good source of protein. See how healthy these are? Now, my base also includes 2 tablespoons of maple syrup. This is optional. You don't have to add this, especially if you're on like a ketogenic diet, or if you are doing any kind of intermittent fasting and you want to stay in that that ketosis state, or the state where the body is using fat for energy instead of carbohydrates. You just omit this, and then it's kind of like a fat bomb situation. So 2 tablespoons is a good amount though if you're going to use the maple syrup. And then we also use vanilla. Vanilla has medicinal benefits to it. I have added liquid vanilla to my home apothecary. I printed off a label. I sell an apothecary kit on my website where you can learn the best herbs for you and order them in bulk and print off these labels and build something that you really want to keep on your counter. So I keep vanilla on my counter because I like to put it in everything. Vanilla is calming on the system, on your nerves, and it also helps regulate your blood sugar, and it helps curb sugar cravings. It's got a lot of natural sweetness to it, especially if you went with like a powdered vanilla. It's a little bit more expensive, but you have to use less. So I would swap that into my coffees instead of using sugar to provide a more natural sweetness, and really beneficial to the body. So I would put 1 teaspoon of vanilla into our base and a pinch of salt. Okay, so that's all that goes into the base for these chocolates: coconut oil, cacao powder, a pinch of salt, maple syrup, almond butter, and vanilla. And again, I'll make sure that you get the full recipe. And then to make it a little special and add some extra Ayurvedic herbal healing goodness, I'm going to be adding Shatavari, which is immense benefit for hormone regulation for women. If you have any kind of cycle irregularities, if you experience a lot of PMS symptoms, or your cycle is really long or too short or too long or not long enough in between, Shatavari is a really good thing to have in your apothecary or your medicine cabinet. Shatavari, I put this in everything. So I'm gonna go ahead and put 2 tablespoons of the Shatavari into my chocolate blend. And it makes about 12 chocolates. So you're getting about 1/2 teaspoon worth, which is a good like little medicinal amount to have in a chocolate form. Come on, who wouldn't want to supplement via chocolates every day? The other thing that I'm gonna put in is rose. It is the month of love. It is February, so why not add some lovely, pleasing aromatics into our chocolate blend? Rose, not only is it a plant-based aphrodisiac, it naturally increases your sense of pleasure in life, but it's also stimulating and cleansing for the liver and the gallbladder. It helps you to increase bile production for healthier digestion. And it tastes amazing. I don't know if you've ever tasted rose, but again, last week I shared a video on making a latte with a little bit of rose and vanilla and honey. And what an incredible way to take your supplements every day. So 1 tablespoon of rose in this blend. Now, once everything is melted, let me make sure you can see that. Look at the color of that rose, hey? So you want it just to like a really creamy liquid consistency. Again, you want to make sure that it doesn't boil. You never want to scald or boil the herbs that you're working with, or else they lose their efficacy, right? So give it a nice stir, kind of pushing the clumps up against the edge of the pot. There. Now, I like to use silicone molds for this. They're really easy to use. I went to like a kitchen store and they had these tiny chocolate molds. Look at the size of this chocolate. Like, I want to eat more than this. So I bought these, but it's actually really time consuming to use them. So I went ahead and grabbed this is a mini muffin tin, a silicone one. Great thing to use. And you just want to put it onto like a solid base, and this is what you'd be putting in the fridge to help it set. Use another little stir. And then bring you over so you can take a look. All right. So then I'm gonna pour the chocolate into the molds. And you're just gonna fill it just over half full. That's like a good couple of bites of super rich chocolate flavor. You're not gonna wanna go back to grocery store aisle chocolates after trying this, okay? Now, you might see some clumps in mine. That's because my husband bought me chunky almond butter instead of regular. There we go. So it makes about a dozen chocolates. And then to this one, to add a little bit of contrast to the sweet flavor here, I'm gonna take some really coarse rock salt. This particular Himalayan rock salt has some dried lemon peel in it as well. It was a random purchase, but just regular coarse pink Himalayan salt is great. And you just want to put a couple little pieces of it on the top of the chocolate. And then I think for looks, I'm going to dust the top with some rose powder as well. There, now we're artists. So that's it, my friends. You just take that and put it into the fridge, and it takes about an hour and a half to set fully, and you can keep it in the fridge or in the freezer. And you probably don't want to keep it on your counter because it is that coconut oil base. If it's warm in the house, it'll start to melt. But in the fridge or freezer, it'll keep for weeks, though it won't last that long. They are absolutely delicious. I would love to hear if you tried this recipe, how did it go for you? And inside that apothecary toolkit that you can find on my website, it gives you a number of optional ingredients that you can add to this chocolate recipe. So the base is always the same, but we can add all kinds of different healing supportive herbs to chocolates. Like, how have people not done this before? So let's change the face of supplementation. I don't need a bunch of plastic white bottles all over my house. I just need some chocolates in my fridge, and I feel well and balanced and wonderful every day. Hopefully you will too. Let me know what you think of the chocolates and have a wonderful day.